I actually think that Shamrock is the end goal for Swordsman. I stand by Mihawk being a fraud, and I am more than...
Hello everybody, welcome to the Gadsden Grand Line Podcast. I'm your host, Torrin Cantrell. This is Brook.
Hello everyone, nice to meet you.
Yep, new guest on the show. You guys, I know you guys are excited because he knows his facts.
I'm so excited to be here. I've got a long list of things.
Dude, I bet.
I'll try not to talk too much.
Oh no, talk as much as you want. Feel free. Feel free.
Yes.
Glad to have you. Franky, of course.
Super!
Man, Franky, how you been?
I've been phenomenal.
Yep.
I'm so happy Brooks on this. We've been talking about it, and I'm just finally glad that we just went for it and he's here. So, Brooke, we are so excited that you're here.
Bringing a tear to my eye.
some behind the scenes work here. This has been in the talks for probably 2 months.
Absolutely, yes.
Like, it's been around that.
Yeah. So,
before Christmas.
Yeah, we definitely planned these out just to perfection.
Oh yeah, just perfect. Yeah,
I love it.
It's important. I think it hit the perfect timing.
Yeah.
Because, everyone's saying the One Piece theory community is going to die here. One Piece theory community is going to die.
Oh, no.
We just keep getting more and more.
It's going up.
Yes.
Dude, I love it.
I mean, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
The man upstairs knows what he's doing. Perfect.
Yeah, Oda or Jesus?
Both.
Oda has been blessed immensely.
Yeah, his writing skills are blessed.
Amen.
Anointed.
Yeah.
Absolutely anointed. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Well, with the most recent chapters, do you guys have any takeaways with Elbaf? Because it's kind of popping off right now.
Takeaways.
This whole episode.
The whole chapter.
Y'all better get ready because it's about to get crazy.
I all know it's just for me. It was just incredible. Like we had the Holy Nights with what we had with.
Dude,
finally the big reveal.
Don't get me started. I'm so excited.
The big reveal.
I'm so excited.
I mean, you got that going on. You got the Harley that's brought up, and we actually get to see those things. I mean, my mind was just blowing. I haven't read a manga chapter that many times over. Typically, it's just but there was just so much in the last chapter. Just the last couple chapters.
This is 1,136 through 1,138, by the way.
Yes.
Just to let y'all know.
I kept telling y'all, wait for the new chapter. Elbaf is definitely S tier. Just wait, you'll prove it.
It already is. It's S tier. It's amazing.
Yeah.
100%. I mean,
any other takeaways besides the Holy Knights? Anything huge?
Oh, a lot of stuff with Loki going on. We've not seen a whole lot from him yet, but already we have so much.
I have so many theories.
Oh, they're just crazy
theories. Which we'll get more into that in just a little bit.
Yeah.
Anything?
Just broad takes. I guess my mind is just completely blanking right now. But I know
Shamrock.
Shamrock with Shamrock and just finally getting to see that he is the twin brother. I think and the dialogue that he's having and the way he talks to Loki is so really cool. Mm-hmm. Just so different than what Shanks does.
Yeah.
But the one that hits me the most with that one was the when he actually, and I'm still just kind of curious, is when he talks about his brother Shanks, that low life and blah blah blah. Yeah. But then he says, but he has been to Marijwal once, and he did bring that up. Mm-hmm. And all I could think about was that moment, and that's when
that has to be Shamrock. That has to be. Shamrock.
So was that? But
it has to be Shamrock.
What would you think it was that Shamrock, or do you think that really was Shanks? And if that was Shanks,
well,
how does he?
What did he say exactly? He said, He was there before.
He was there before.
Shanks was born there, right? So he could be talking about.
That's true.
But he wouldn't say it that way.
Yeah, it's a little weird way to phrase it.
You're right.
I think that looking at Shamrock and the way he talks, it's a really interesting character.
Yeah,
and I'm having problems placing him comparatively to other people on the Marine side.
Yeah,
it's such an odd kind of, and we're seeing the person that he's with. And we got to see what both of them are capable of a little bit. But when he mentioned Shanks and he's been there before. Mm-hmm. Obviously, most people went to the rat scene where he's like, I got a pirate to talk about. Yeah. But one thing that's interesting to think about is when Roger was having his talk with Shanks, he very much gave him a explore and live your own life, find your answer talk. And so it could be that after that moment, Shanks went back to see if that was the lifestyle he wanted, and then decided no, that's not for me. I like being a pirate, and then went back.
I like that a lot. That's a great theory.
That makes good sense. But at the same time, would the Celestial Dragons be so open to Shanks coming back just because
you
saw Doflamingo's family?
They absolutely hated them.
They said
hated them.
wasn't going to happen. So
that could be why he was like, no, I'm done with it.
Yeah.
I mean, so I'm still going back to the rats.
I do think it was Shamrock because they're not just going to let anybody in. They can't just let any pirate in.
The way that it was drawn, though, like in the manga and in the anime, was so intentionally done because it's hard to know which it was. Like it's where like the scar is not really noticeable. If it is there, if it's not, like
the convenience of. The convenience that the Shamrock is the twin, though. The convenience.
So I was worried Oda was going to get, the community guessed it. So I was worried Oda was going to be like, you know what? Just because y'all guessed it, I'm going to switch it up.
He said, like, if you guys get it, like, we're changing before. So, I mean.
That scared me, but hey, he revealed it.
I think it was in a way that's very different from what the community thought.
Yeah.
And so I think we're going to get a lot out of this character that it'll be worth.
100%, dude. I'm so excited to see what's to come with that character.
And then the other thing I was thinking of with the Holy Knights, which there's still so much more in there. I mean, we're going to get to the Harley. I know we're going to get to the Harley.
Oh, yeah.
That's the meat of this. But I don't want to skip over a few just of these moments. But the and I'm just curious because when I saw the girl, I forgot her name. What's the girl? His like a little assistant.
I don't remember.
I can't remember her name, but she's got that arrow thing just like Emu.
Oh,
that's a devil fruit, allegedly.
Just like Emu.
But man, it's like,
is it a devil fruit or is it a technique? Is it something the Marines have learned?
What's like a hockey?
That's true, because we've seen abilities that the Marines learn that aren't devil fruit.
Shave before we knew.
All of that with the CP organizations.
This might be a hierarchy kind of move.
But also with what people say, like Emu can just give out powers that aren't devil fruit, but are very much like devil fruit.
Imagine that.
Could be something like that going on.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be crazy.
So like that was wild. And then the last thing I kind of had with that was, and I'm still kind of scratching my head, and I don't know what y'all's takes on it, is the summoning circles.
Yeah.
Like the summoning circles it's at first, I think we talked on the last podcast when we talked about our Emu theory. We talked about how. The Gorosei were summoning, and that was maybe just an extension to Emu's power.
I think it's another technique.
I was going to say, what if it's something like Emu has all this power, but they can designate it to certain people?
What about Brook, though? Remember? You experienced that firsthand.
You did.
In that cage before you became a rock star, Soul King.
That's right, Soul King. How's that going for you?
Pretty good.
Yeah. When's that next album dropping?
Sometime soon.
I love it.
Hey, this guy can actually play Bing Sake on the violin.
Well, I'm better on the piano with it.
Hey, you're still talented.
Yeah, that's why you're Brook.
Still talented.
Well, I appreciate it.
Because any of our other Straw Hats can actually have musical abilities.
No, I'm sure.
I don't know.
Actual musical abilities.
Cooper Smith can play guitar.
Good old Gene Bay. Gene Bay's got some.
Gene Bay plays guitar.
And look, if I had the time, I'm sure we could sit down and in an hour you guys could be able to play just as well.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that one.
But I wanted when I saw that, it's like it made me think. Okay, if it's not just an extension to Emu, and I thought about that same thing when you're talking about with the Brooks in that cage. Like, do you think? And this is just me thinking. I don't know if there's any theories out there. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is. But do you think it's like an ancient old school witchcraft of some sort?
Techniques. I'm telling you. I think the hierarchy has techniques that nobody else knows about.
That tribe of people.
Yeah.
They weren't surprised by that.
There's so many techniques we've seen since the start of One Piece.
Yeah.
That we're like, that's the devil fruit. No, and like hardly any explanation. Mm-hmm. There's the man from Don Creed's crew who could set himself on fire.
Yep.
There's
Sanji being able to jump.
There's also like the hypnotism with one of our favorite characters of all time.
I always thought that was a devil fruit. Wow.
No, I don't. It's never been said that's a devil fruit, and even then, like we see other examples, like was it Miss Golden Week with the painting?
Okay.
Was that her?
Yeah. I thought that was. No, that was a devil fruit.
That was not a devil
fruit.
There's
no way.
That has to be
not a devil fruit.
We need to get that confirmed.
Confirmed, but I'm fairly certain that's not a devil fruit.
I will say he knows he's an expert.
There's so many abilities that we've seen that are in the realm of devil fruit that aren't.
Yeah.
So it's very possible that has to do with old, passed down generational techniques from olden times before devil fruits.
Yeah. I mean, shave is the first that comes to mind.
Yeah, easily.
But even if that someone is a technique that's very precious to, I don't know how exactly it works in that one, that one island that Brook went to. I'd like to see more about that. Is that maybe like some sort of emus? Like maybe that's where it was from, or he was from, and or the last thing I thought was like it's important that this technique is covered and under wraps, because think about how it would break One Piece travel.
Yes. Oh yeah,
like it would break it so much.
That'd be over. Right. I mean,
and
we know the government has their ways of getting around that like the average person doesn't. I mean, they've navigated the Calm Belt way before like anyone had the means or stuff to think about it.
I have a theory about emu, because I was just wondering one day, where do you think emu came from? Right? Do you think it? I think it could be an island outside the Grand Line, outside the line, the Red Line. Mm-hmm. It's like outside in the Calm Belt. I think there could be an island we don't know about yet.
Interesting. Well, I think we'll get into some theories about that because I have something specifically covering like the creation of those structures in the world.
Okay.
So it's possible the world looked very different way back when.
I mean, the water was like way lower.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
So
we do know that the sea levels have rose.
So maybe
I bet it did.
It didn't used to be a calm belt.
No.
Mm-hmm. It used to be just like Earth.
It used to be like Earth.
That's crazy. So that's crazy. I've never really thought about that.
We're putting it all together right here,
dude. Yeah.
But
that's what we do.
There's so many takeaways in these last few chapters, but at the same time, like we only have so much time. So let's just go ahead.
Let's just talk, see where it goes.
Okay. On the topic of Shamrock, real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who do you guys think is going to be the one to fight Shamrock?
That's a big question.
I want Shanks to fight him so bad.
That would be crazy.
That would be so cool.
Actually, I think Oda will do that just to tie in Shanks' backstory. I think he's going to use that to tie in a backstory.
Please.
Make you love Shanks.
Oda, come on.
My only issue is, would he kill off Shanks? I don't think he would.
I think that we're at the part of the show that everyone should be like worried when events arise for conflict. Mm-hmm. I think we've already seen pieces of that recently.
And if you think about how the Harley was written, each world ended with people dying.
Yeah.
And they will not; those men will not meet again.
I think it's Usopp's time to go in this arc.
So everyone's been saying Usopp's gonna die. There's so much around Usopp and his character.
Sorry, Usopp.
His goal being a brave warrior of the sea.
Yeah.
That kind of pairs hand in hand. Like it could tie in well with dying in a heroic way.
You're right.
And I actually think at first, when we saw what Shamrock can do with his sword, we saw the Cerberus.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And I was stoked because the first thing that came to my mind is we have a swordsman with 3 heads in their ability. Well, we know a 3-bladed swordsman, Zoro.
That's right.
And the Cerberus is, in mythology, the guardian of the gates of the underworld. So it would tie in really well with the theme of death on Zoro's character for him to fight the Cerberus and fight Shamrock.
Okay. So Zoro versus
another one.
That'd be great because we do say that Shanks and Mihawk are close, right? As swordsmen.
Yeah.
If you beat Shanks' brother, does that mean Zoro's that much closer to beating Mihawk?
So I actually think that Shamrock is the end goal for swordsmen. I stand by Mihawk being a fraud. And I am more than willing to be corrected.
I love it.
We've not seen much from him.
No, we haven't. And I'll be happy if I'm disproven. Mm-hmm. That's one of those like win-wins. Like, if he's a fraud, I'm right. If he's not, that's awesome. That's good writing.
Well, I actually heard you say he painted his sword.
He painted his sword. That's hilarious. He painted that sword like he did.
That's so good.
That's amazing.
I think that Shamrock is the end game for like greatest swordsman, and so Zoro will have to like.
What if Mihawk dies? What if we have a Mihawk death?
Yeah. It's also not outside the realm of possibility that we get another character fight either alone against Shamrock or together with Zoro. And we've seen this duo before, and it's probably not the duo that would immediately come to mind. But it's Zoro with Usopp.
Yeah.
Now,
yes,
we saw it in his lobby,
and
it was hilarious.
Absolutely.
It was a good time. Yes, and I actually think, isn't that when Zoro had some awakening of a power related to...
At the end of that, but not during that fight. It wasn't until he fought the giraffe guy.
Are you thinking of the train fight?
No. The giraffe...
The giraffe fight.
He's like, that was
a great fight.
That was a great fight.
And so, in it, we've talked about how every lie that Usopp tells comes true in some roundabout way. And it's like kind of like a joke thing. but it could be almost like a predestination thing, or it could even be hinting at some elaborate form of observation hockey in some way. But I think Usopp is on goal for a power-up with hockey in some way, whether it be future sight to pair with his sniping, or we saw him lie before about having Conqueror's hockey.
I swear,
And
if Usopp has Conqueror's hockey,
He unlocks
if
Conqueror's
Usopp
hockey.
has Conqueror's hockey,
I'm like, oh no, what are we doing?
But we've seen the dynamic. He wants to be captain. It's something that we've seen since the start. He has that unwavering spirit. We've seen him go head-to-head with Luffy over a contention point before.
no, this is.
That
sorry,
made me very
I'm going to
mad.
interject
That
just a
made me
quick
very
second.
mad.
As much of a Usopp negative podcast, we have a Usopp positive
We do,
podcast
yeah.
right here. So this is great.
You're not the first one, besides Usopp.
Yeah, so there you go. We got an Usopp.
Let me
fan
clear
up
the
here.
record. I'm not a anti or pro Usopp. I'm calling it how I see it.
All right.
How I see it is that there's a lot building up to the possibility of Usopp lie coming true about Conqueror's hockey.
It's true.
Him tapping into the observation hockey he's used before.
That does make sense.
And the lies that he tells coming true. Some other lies.
Goldfish.
There's something
The goldfish.
by Loki. There's something by Loki right now.
What is it?
Is there not a giant hammer of some kind by Loki?
I got to see the panel.
I gotta
he's-
see the panel.
There's something.
I think
I'm
that
sure, I
there
think
was
there
some
is.
circulation, someone talking about some big hammer or something around
Probably
there.
right.
And if that's true,
We can confirm it.
we've seen Usopp use a giant hammer before.
That Usopp hammer,
I mean,
baby.
it was a
Why?
0 pounder. What was it? 0.5.
One of my favorite fights. That's my
That
favorite
was,
Usopp
that
fight.
was
That's
honestly
my
a
favorite
great
Usopp
fight.
I
hands
mean,
down.
It was great.
If you
was-
count it as a fight.
It was so
It was so.
funny.
It was a great pairing
It
between
was
the
the,
two.
the battle of
Yeah.
the frauds.
Yes,
and I loved
yeah,
it. It
I
was so
agree.
good. It was so
But
good.
we've also seen Usopp, and this ties him to Shamrock directly. On the very first arc we saw Usopp, when he had his little crew running around,
Yeah.
he pointed out a dog and said, "Guys, it's a Cerberus. Let's take it down."
I swear, if Usopp beats Shamrock,
So
Imagine.
This would be-
Imagine.
I think
I
it's
love
setting
it.
up.
Why not? As long as it's worthy.
I
but
think my prediction, and this is a Hail Mary, but I think we get the Zoro Usopp tag team again, like from Enies Lobby.
Okay.
To
Wow.
take on Shamrock. And it might not be the final fight Shamrock has, but it's probably going to be a fight.
I like it. That's a big hot take.
It's a hot take, but it's a fun take.
It's a fun, yeah, it's a fun
I'm
take.
in. I'm in. And maybe that would give Usopp his big moment because
Yeah.
he needs one.
He
He,
needs
needs one
one.
so
He needs
bad. And he's not good enough on
Nami
his
got
own.
hurt.
Yeah. And
Everybody got
it could
theirs.
be the fight that he dies in. Maybe he gets some valuable piece of information or something for the crew.
Or he kills Shamrock.
Or
he
goes out and
he may
yeah.
go down with him, but at the same time, it makes sense to pair him with Zoro because he's not strong enough to do it.
Yeah.
Gives him the big moment. So, I don't know. That'd be
Yeah.
great.
I think it would
I
be
agree. That'd be awesome.
insanely good writing.
That'd be
That-
awesome.
Hey, if that's a Hail Mary, I'm in on that one. I hope they catch it.
Yeah, we got to
Although
catch
it
it.
catches it.
I feel like the easy answer would be Shanks, but that one's a fun
Yes,
one. I'm
that's
in
the
on
fun.
that.
That's my fun
I
answer.
like that answer.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Well, moving on to our next question. Why do you think Louis Arnott warns visitors to not overstay their welcome? I might have butchered that name because it's in the manga. Don't really know yet.
I'm bad with names.
Yeah,
so
I can't
Okay,
speak
we'll keep
Japanese.
it. We'll keep it.
But dude, I was just kind of prepping for this pod, and I just saw this kind of like last minute, and it's like this is cool.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even see it, and it's been kind of slowly interwoven and hidden throughout the manga, and I just like I don't know who this guy is. I thought of Nolan the Liar immediately when I started kind of
Yes.
piecing it together.
A lot of connections
And
to Nolan.
and so
Yeah.
I'm like, this is cool. And
Great character.
Oh yeah.
Underrated, in my
and,
opinion.
I mean, you
Very underrated.
you see the same silhouette guy talking to Crocus, almost as if he's seeing him as a friend.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so why would Crocus be like? I mean, he may know tons of people, but
What's Crocus doing right now?
Yeah, what is he?
Him and
up
Laboon
to?
are just chilling.
He's chilling with Laboon.
He-
Yeah.
Are
I'm
they just
telling
chilling
you.
still?
Yeah,
I mean,
probably. He's retired, isn't he?
Is Laboon retired? I mean, Laboon's probably like, what, 15 years
Laboon's
old?
definitely in waiting.
Laboon trusts Luffy.
Yeah.
Okay.
He trusts Luffy. I'm telling you. But like he's seen this guy has seen like he dubbed Lil Garden
Yeah.
based off of the Giants' presence there, Grogi and Broggy. So it proves that he was in this time like not in the Void Century or anything.
still alive?
But like he's in this area.
Actually, that adds up.
So
Actually,
I don't
adds up.
know.
I've
Like
seen
it makes you wonder.
people say that this could be Nolan. I've seen connections to Nolan, like the adventurer, someone who's like big in.
What
like,
if Nolan was still alive? Like much older.
But they kind of
Or was that years? Like,
that was-
way.
So
200?
there are parallels between Nolan and
Roger. Yeah.
And so
Never
I
mind.
think,
Yeah,
I
he's
think he
definitely-
would have to be dead.
He has to be
for that to stand up. But there's also theories that it could be Roger, and he wrote about his travels, and that's how those books came about.
Do you think Roger was Nolan?
No, I think they are different.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious. But the warning. But what's interesting is you see the same guy, the same little silhouette at Wano. Like, is that just like a pose, or is he still there? This guy's still there, and if this is the other, but it's also him saying, "Don't overstay your welcome." I don't even know what to think.
Well,
what does that mean?
Here, I think I'll give you my theory real quick. I think the Giants are bad guys. I have multiple things backing this up.
Okay.
I think they're being a little bit too friendly, especially in the most recent chapters. A little bit too friendly to the hosts. The teacher with Franky, she's being really friendly to him, a little suspicious.
Ripley, yeah.
And the King Harold, I'm a little concerned. He's the only one acting like Loki's the bad guy and killed all those people. He was in the room, right?
Yeah.
He was in the room with Loki. And he claims that Loki did it all. And all he has is a sword in his head. And he's not willing to say anything.
Okay.
He's only willing to talk about the sword in his head. He's not giving us any information.
So
I think Loki's an anti-villain. I think he's
I think
in between.
I'm with you that Loki's like a good person. Luffy has a good judge of character. We've seen it before.
We've seen
and
proof.
his first initial response was like, "Oh, Loki seems like a good guy." We're like, "Is this a good guy?"
This would be wild.
So, I think you're kind of right, but not fully. I don't think all the giants are bad. Okay. And I think like Ripley, there's a theory because we've seen someone following behind and he's approaching right now.
Yeah.
There's a theory that that's actually the left-hand man of Roger, Scopper, and that he is the husband to Ripley, and that the half human, half giant is his child.
Interesting.
And he's about to talk to Luffy about a whole lot of stuff.
Well, let's not forget, there's a 100-year gap between these old giants that we met along the way and these giants that have been here.
Yeah.
So they clearly missed something that happened.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we love them. Oda's not going to use them to be bad. They're the good guys.
Yeah.
All the giants that were left here, I think they sided with the government.
So what I think is there's one giant in particular. I think that the old king of the giants was murdered by the current.
Harold?
I think that...
But it was Harold's alive, right? The one with the sword in his head?
I think Harold was killed.
No, Harold was.
Harold's the guy.
No, that was Jarul.
Jarul's
who I'm talking about.
Harold was killed by Jarul, and because only him and Loki were there, he pinned it on Loki.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. I got the names mixed up.
So I think that Jarul told everyone Loki did it, and because he's the cursed prince, they believe him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think he was supported by the world government, and in return, he gave them the Hito no Mi model Nika. And that's how the world government got their hands on it. I think the Giants were protecting
I'm
that
100% in on that.
because that was the one place that was kind of untouched by the world government.
Yeah.
And so in like an alliance, he gave that to them. That's how the government got it.
That makes good sense.
Shanks took it from the government.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Loki didn't know this, went out to try and get it back because he knows what happened and no one believes him.
Yeah.
So he goes out, he finds Shanks, and Shanks is like, I got it back, don't worry, but a kid ate it. And so either Loki got mad and was going to go kill Luffy to get the fruit back, and Shanks stopped him and took him back to Elbaf and locked him up, or Loki's in on it with Shanks and knows that Luffy has the potential to be the liberator and is waiting for him.
Or out of rage, he went back to fight the giants at Elbaf.
That's a possibility.
But
I think Jarul is in cahoots with the world government because
I agree.
That would be why they could teleport in.
That's what I meant. My bad. I meant
Jarul.
I said Harold.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you. I think that the rest of the giants, though, are just unaware. I think they believe him because it's Loki.
Yeah,
and they just don't know any better.
And it also makes sense because like Jarul, if this was to be true, Jarul is the right hand man of King Harold. there's no reason for him to be questioned. And so
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
if by chance he was in on it, he would say, "Well, this is what King Harold's true want is to get. We are too fierce of a tribe,
Macbeth.
Yeah, and we want to.
How can I blame this on the king to become the king myself?
And then he wants to literally, pretty much make the warriors not so weaken the entire tribe, or the race of giants. He wants to weaken them by like saying, "Hey, we don't need to fight so much. If we want to be part of the government," that was King Harold's wish. Was it even his wish?
No, the government are trying to get the giants to be peaceful.
Yeah, so they can overtake them.
Yeah, so they can have them.
Yeah. That ties into what we saw in the mirror. If the government's trying to stop all these races from rallying,
they're like, if we can just get the new generation to not have fighting skills, then we can beat them. Yes. We can take over.
Yeah. I think that's why Roger was so smart. I think a lot of people making the joke right now, Roger made it there and saw the mural and he's like, I'm not doing that.
Maybe that'd be so funny. If that was it.
Is that he realized, like, that can't be me.
That can't be this generation.
I'm going to find out who it is. And so he set the spark to get that person on board.
That's good. That's good. I'm in on that.
He did his part all the way to death.
That's really good.
I think, honestly, I ain't gonna lie. Piecing
I don't know
together,
if you can just prove that
that makes pretty good sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
All that would make sense. Make a great story. I mean, who knows?
Who knows?
That's pretty good right there.
We'll find out. Yeah. Eventually.
Yeah, we will. But
it might be 5 years.
Yeah, I've heard it's going back on break after the next few chapters.
Oh, I hope it's not too long of a break.
Dude, I think we're going to get left on something crazy, and then it's going to be like a few weeks of a break.
What if we guess it, and then he gives us a break?
Oh, man.
All right, next question. A little bit of a fun one. Blackbeard versus Shanks. Who do you think's going to win where we're at right now?
Blackbeard v. Shanks?
Yeah. It's an interesting
I wish
fight.
you could see them fight.
Interesting topic.
We've seen Blackbeard fight more than Shanks, but I don't even know all of Shanks' what his skills and abilities are.
Here's a question.
It's kind of tough.
Was it actually Shanks that fought Kaido in Marineford? Because he got to Marineford incredibly quick, and we know he has a twin now. So was it actually Shanks that fought Kaido there, or was it Shamrock?
That's a great point. I never thought about that.
Because that could lend credibility towards Shanks, because I have also been partial to think Shanks is a bit of a fraud.
Okay. I completely disagree. But that's just I'm Shanks.
But didn't Shanks already come? Didn't he already? No. I thought he possibly have already confronted Blackbeard once. In some sort. He did. I'm pretty sure he did.
He stopped the war. And Blackbeard was there.
I think
we know that Whitebeard got his scar from either Shanks or his brother.
Yeah.
Because whenever they met, he was like, that face reminds me, like my scars ache when I see that face.
Yeah, okay.
And so either Whitebeard fought Shamrock and got the scar, or he fought Shanks. I think it might be more likely he fought Shamrock than Shanks. Yeah, I think...
I don't think so. I don't think Shamrock would show himself.
Yeah, I think with how much... Whitebeard, I think the level that Whitebeard knew, because at that point he had talked with Roger too about
of the whole thing.
Yeah. So I think that it's possible, and he kept quiet about it. But it is either way for me. I can see.
I just don't think Shamrock would steep that low to go down there.
I don't think so.
I think he's too much on the hierarchy to be.
He is on the high horse
pirates
right now.
Yeah. I don't
Pun
know.
fully intended.
I mean,
I like the theory though. I mean, you can't really say too much on this fight because
I'm going to go with Shanks mainly because he's not a devil fruit user, and
I do
that
think
gives
he knows
him
something
that gives him a distinctive
he knows something.
advantage.
Roger knew something.
When the world is underwater, flooding as we speak.
Luffy's crew, I think there's a reason Luffy got the Nika. I think that's one of the only devil fruits that won't have the curse.
I still think Luffy was never necessarily he had no clue that Luffy was going to be the guy. I think those fruits have a will of their own, and by chance it was there.
Guys, what if
that has to be it?
What if Luffy doesn't actually have the inability to swim from a devil fruit? Like, I know the Sea Prism Stone has worked on him, but, like, what if it's just his imagination paired with the fact that he has the Sun God Fruit? And he's just, like, it's in his head, so
if he's in 5th gear, and your theory is correct, he could just mold the water and swim.
Yeah. I mean, like, there are ways around it. I think, though, there's, like, very obvious, like, Blackbeard has been getting devil fruits for all of his crew for a reason.
Yeah.
And I think Shanks has avoided devil fruits for all of his crew for a reason.
I think Roger told him something.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I'm in.
Which I've said that on a past podcast.
I'm in. I think Shanks is going to win, not just narratively. I just think overall,
I think Blackbeard is going to be one of the ends.
I
think it's either going to be
but
Blackbeard
Emu's the
Emu or Emu Blackbeard.
No, it's going to be.
Ooh.
There's a reason I say that. We'll talk a little bit.
Blackbeard,
I like that.
But
yeah.
I think that it might be Emu then Blackbeard.
Or working together. What if Emu could convince Blackbeard that I'll let you live in this new world if
I definitely
me.
think that like Blackbeard has a lot of knowledge of stuff that like we're just now finding out.
I don't know how he got that knowledge.
And I think that he's definitely been building himself to work in pair with Emu, either for the sake of the alliance because he aligns with her, or because he wants something from Emu and he's trying to steal it. Which, I mean, I'll just go ahead and say I think Blackbeard's going to try to take the Mother Flame. Emu.
I like that.
100%.
And I think that's either going to put him as second to last fight or the last fight. Either he steals it, they gotta beat him and then beat Emu, or they beat Emu, Blackbeard takes it while
I like
there's
that
an
too.
opening.
What about the Zebek D-Rocks tie-in with Blackbeard? Do you think that has anything to do with what you're talking about? Because there's a lot to that. I mean, their characters are pretty similar.
There's a lot of similarities between the two.
Do you think Blackbeard learned things from Zebek?
Possibly.
Do you think
it's possible.
That's how he has his knowledge?
I think that it has more to do with Blackbeard's character, some things that we don't know for certain yet, but we're kind of piecing together now based off of the prophecies that we were told.
I just had a theory. Just now.
Here we go.
What if Blackbeard has 3 personalities, right? That's the obvious theory.
Yeah.
What if he ate 2 other souls? He took Zebek's soul, took somebody else's soul, and he has the knowledge of both of them. So he's going into this new world with pre-knowledge of what's about to come.
So, okay.
So I don't know if y'all are in on
from each
that.
era. We talked a
That
little
would be
bit.
cool. I don't know. I just thought about it.
Yeah, Brook and I talked before, and he told me this crazy theory.
There's
I loved
a
it.
fun little theory. I
This
like
is a
it.
good one.
So we know Blackbeard went to Drum Island.
Yep.
And some people are like, it's because there's a powerful devil fruit there he was hunting. Some people say it was choppers because it's a little weird for there to just be a human fruit.
Yeah.
But what if he was there for Wapple and he with 2 other people went and got ate by Wapple and combined into one person? And that would explain why he could eat more than one devil fruit and it would tie in the more than one personality.
Interesting.
I mean-
does that mean Wapple could also get multiple personalities?
He'd have to eat himself, though.
It would be
How
like...
would you eat yourself?
Yeah.
I don't know. Wapple would find a way.
Hey, they're always hungry.
It's Wapple.
Wapple's the
guys
end
are-
game of One Piece.
There
He's
we
the
go.
big villain.
Wapple and Foxy.
Yes. Yes.
Oh
side
my
by side.
gosh, no.
He's going to combine with Foxy
Yes.
and Horty Jones.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh gosh.
what an ending. I'm
Oda,
trying-
please don't do that.
The
That's
big
a good
three
idea.
of bad antagonists.
Oh,
That's
my
awesome.
goodness.
Oh man. Who will fight Shamrock? We already talked about that just a little bit. Any other thoughts on that one?
I love the Usopp theory. I think Shanks would be a great person. Other than that, like...
Some people are saying Luffy. Because,
I mean, you
it's
could
like
do Luffy.
Shanks'
Yeah,
brother.
so
with
that would
Luffy.
be...
That'd be cool.
That would
It's
be
the
a cool...
obvious answer, I think.
So-
I'm
I
in
agree.
Shanks.
So,
Or Loki. I mean, you can throw that out there.
He kind of got...
I would like Loki, too. But he kind of...
I know.
Yeah,
I don't
he
think
kinda
he's
got a little-
he's not dead.
No,
there's no...
I think
One
he's
Piece.
just not in a fighting state right now.
Okay.
Probably. I think that really didn't.
Oda's putting him to the side while the other
for a
characters
little
can
bit.
move
Yeah,
on.
probably Luffy's gonna pull up and see the state he's in, find out what actually went
Luffy's gonna be
down.
peeled.
Dude, Luffy's gonna be mad.
That could be a good
That's it.
intro to
That's
him
it.
facing Luffy. But I'm still on your Hail Mary. I want
Yeah,
that Hail Mary.
I'm sticking down with that
I
one.
would be... What if Luffy got, like, that started it, and then he got immobilized by somehow, because, the Holy Knight, and I love Luffy, but he's still an idiot. So, like, Shamrock outwits him, gets him, like, throw some sea prism
I'm in on
stone
this.
on that. And so then Zoro and Usopp come along,
Yeah.
and then there's our Hail
Yes.
Mary.
Dude,
So
yeah, that's it.
I'm in on
That's
it. Let's
it.
go.
That's the vision.
I'm
I like
in.
it.
I'm
Yep.
in. That'd be
We've
great.
called it first.
That's it. Right
If
here.
that's what happens,
That's it.
Yep.
You'll see it on a short eventually, because
That's right.
that's what happened last time with the Saul. All right,
Dude.
next question. This one's kind of crazy. The Harley mentions 4 gods: sun, earth, forest, and sea. Do you think they are infused through wills into devil fruits? If so, why?
So, one thing
I mean, there's a lot to talk
I
about.
lost my mind. So
The 4 little G's.
The 4 little G's.
We said it.
We kind of talked about it, but as I've kind of started looking into and kind of just doing some background knowledge and trying to enrich myself, maybe it's not necessarily, I don't know, but the 4 gods that on those when you hear them read,
Yeah.
is so like when I don't even know how the Harley says it, but the one is mentioned is clearly talking about the mother flame. It's not talking about Nika.
Yeah.
But then you have but there is Nika eventually mentioned.
The sun god.
And then we have Emu or Umi, whatever, for the sea god. But the other
That
2,
makes sense.
I have no idea. Because you have the forest and
That
the
leaves
earth.
the forest and the earth.
Like, who are they?
There's
Loki? Could
So-
Loki tie in on that?
I saw something Blackbeard tie in because he
Ooh.
has the quake fruit now.
Yes.
So what's that? What do you think? That's Earth? Earth because of earthquake?
Earth.
Okay.
I like
And then
that.
I'm in on that.
A lot of people are saying
Green Bowl?
Green Bull.
Green
No,
Bowl!
I don't think we know.
I don't think so.
I don't think we know anything yet.
There's a lot of people talking Chopper. I mentioned it a bit ago that Blackbeard was on Drum Island and he's looking for devil fruits.
That's
Why, if devil fruits come from people's dreams to like improve and get stronger, so why would there be one that just makes you a human? So I think that Chopper's is the model of
the forest?
the forest god, human fruit.
Oh, wow.
And it ties in because it's a mushroom-shaped devil fruit.
2 gods, 1 crew.
And mushrooms are, mycelia specifically, are heavily associated with high rain, high levels of water after like flooding and stuff.
Yeah.
Big brain moves right
Dude,
there.
I'm in on this.
It's possible. And then we've seen like Chopper has so much mythology tied into him. Rudolph at the start.
Yeah.
His
Yeah.
beast transformation.
The Santa Claus scene where they're like...
Yeah, his beast
On a sleigh.
transformation looks much like a skinwalker or a Wendigo, something like that, like a
That's
crazy
awesome.
mythological
Yeah.
creature.
That's awesome.
And so it's very likely that he has some mythical zone level devil fruit, and it could be
That would be
So
cool.
if it was Chopper, I mean,
That's an out there theory,
But- so-
but I can get behind it.
so I guess, so do you think maybe like, so my thought is like, so is these gods or these little G gods, the only one that's still standing would be Emu, officially.
And Luffy.
But Luffy is like almost is the will infused into the fruit.
Yeah.
So the other 3 may have lost, but you know what I'm saying, like, or like, you know, I'm trying to figure out how do these.
So-
I'm so curious to like.
We're saying Emu for the rain god, but there is another possibility
What are you thinking?
because we've seen someone who there's not a lot about yet, but we know he's going to be a big player, and it's Dragon. And there is a lot of ties between him and like the Shandorian race, where a lot of this comes from, which is
Yeah.
where the
Yes.
4 gods were first introduced into the
true.
story.
In
Their
the-
first
in the-
name drop there.
The backstory.
Yeah. And
It's
so
known.
he has a lot of ties with that in Aztec mythology. Well, there's an Aztec feathered serpent god that's associated with wind and rain, which is the Quetzalcoatl. And so people are saying he might have that devil fruit, and it could be the rain god.
Interesting.
So then that would
So
so Emu would be out.
Emu might be overseeing all of them.
And so okay.
I definitely do
so,
see.
So all the gods are just wills that are just floating around in the One Piece world. And
Which will is
they're-
more powerful, you think?
Well, we know that these fruits have wills of their own, and so that's obviously like
Or do you think the fruits have the will of their own, or only the 4 Gs?
I think
The 4 god wills that are infused.
definitely the 4.
Definitely
dude,
those.
because
I
like
100%
they've
do
ended
that.
up, but we have a lot of like mythology and gods being tied in now.
Yeah.
And so we've also seen someone who has claimed to be a god before in Skypiea.
Inaru.
What a guy.
And
What a guy.
a lot of people write him off as just like really narcissistic and really stupid and this and that.
Loved him.
The dude was insanely intelligent.
Yes.
And he was like, he was very grounded for what a lot of people give him credit for. It's very likely that he wasn't really lying when he said he was a god, and he could have had some god devil fruit that he ate, like the god of lightning.
Okay.
And so, if that's the case,
Are there other
like demigods or something?
Demigods.
Like
they
demigods
also have a will, because what are the odds that that fruit lands in the hands of Enel, who is the race that he is and the place that he is, that also has the means to put together a craft similar to what we saw in the mural that's powered specifically by someone with that ability.
That's a lot to take in. I mean,
but I do like the idea of if Dragon was the rain god,
okay,
and then you have Chopper hypothetically as a possible candidate, or Green Bull, or someone that
I'm not accepting Green Bull.
Well, it's just too hard not to kind of think it, because his power is literally
I hate
the forest.
Green Bull. I hate him.
But you have that, and then you have Nico is clearly the sun god, and shoot, what's the last one?
Emu.
Possibly like Blackbeard with
Blackbeard with Quake. If those hypothetically were, and they're just inherited wills, like I'm in. Like that would be really, really cool. I mean, I'm in.
Yeah.
And that's just how the whole world has been kind of slowly been working together.
Would the gods team up?
I'm not sure.
Initially,
if
Emu was...
What if no one has the forest god fruit? Because judging by the mural,
the
forest gods...
liar?
No one.
No one.
Because... That's an interesting. That'd be a whole different kind of theory.
But
on
accident, just came up with a whole new theory.
We saw that like the devil fruit's origin has heavy ties to the forest god fruit.
Wow.
So
that is true.
What if like the forest god
created devil fruits,
made the devil fruit,
dude?
I'm
so in on that.
In the game.
That's
then
awesome.
You would have the rain god being in the Revolutionary Army. You would have the sun god being in the pirates, and you would have the rain god Emu in this case, or no, the Earth God, being with Blackbeard, who's in cohorts with the Marines. So it'd be all the three in the different.
I'm in.
Imagine that.
I'm in. And I do like the way the Harley's written, because it's always the freaking mother flame that causes the problem every single time. Like, it's supposed to be a nuclear power source of sorts, where it's always beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Like it can be something great, or it can be something that can absolutely destroy everything. And it's all about who possesses it. Because think about even today, like nuclear power is a good thing for us. But if we have a Chernobyl incident, it's awful. Or we have World War III, where nuclear warfare, it destroys everything. It's always, it could be used in such a positive way.
The government's just been trying to control it in a bad way.
Exactly. But at the same time, and Vega has just now been able to recreate it.
Yeah.
Because up to that point, they haven't been able to, but Vegapunk has finally been able to recreate it, which I still think the Mother Flame is what powers Uranus.
Yeah, I think that's
has to be it.
I like, sense. At first when I was looking at the mural, I thought it was a little odd. Like, everything came from the Mother Flame, and then like you have these societies and stuff, and it's like, but it's so fun to kind of look at it as like, what if the world back then was like our world now? And then it is like this nuclear power source, and then everything happened, and it's like a big reset.
I think that's exactly where it was at. And then when the reset happened and the world flooded, But but why emus? Like, why would you want to rule something that's less technological?
I'm with you on it being the power source for that,
because he can have more control over it.
Here's
the less people that know about what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's so we've seen in history how rulers before all this technology could easily just lie and cheat their way to power. Napoleon's like the biggest example of that. He lied about winning like just about every war he was in, and because he brought back stuff to show his people. Well, people are like, well, I mean, he has like the proof for it. No one was like going on the internet to like fact check him,
Yeah.
So I think that it's easier to rule that amount of people when there's like. When you control the media, and the media isn't as advanced.
And that's why I love, what's the bird's name?
Morgan's.
Morgan's, dude. Yeah. Morgan's is awesome. He's always going out of his way to make the government mad. I love it.
What a guy. Sometimes though he'll go with it and publish
every
the story.
now and then. But recently he's been going a little off.
He doesn't need Emu coming up there and causing everything. But
here's a fun little aside with the Mother Flame being a power source. So the parallels between Nolan and Roger, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a theory I saw that someone was like, the Sky Islands, right?
Yep.
He found the Gold City and it got blasted into the sky. Well, what if Roger, he made it to Laugh Tale, and instead of being blasted into the sky, it's at the same spot, but it got sunk to the bottom of the ocean in the same spot. And so you have like a parallel between the two where it's like they both died for like what they had seen, and like there's all the parallels between the two characters, but also what if Emu was trying to take out that island with it and missed and hit where Indy's lobby is now and hit that instead, and that caused it to be launched into the sky.
That makes sense. Or what about the geyser, right? There's a big geyser that shoots you up.
Yeah.
What if that was the spot and it created just a geyser that would shoot you up?
yeah.
I mean, I like the Indy's lobby one too, but that one could also be it.
So it's like somehow like it missed or it didn't work, and like it caused that to be launched into the Golden City
That
to be
would be
launched
cool.
into the sky. And it's only because she didn't know where it was at, right? Emu didn't know
that's right,
where
that's
the
right.
Gold City was, because the Gold City had that poneglyph. That gold is special in some way as well. It has to be. And so,
Dude, that
whenever
makes
Nolan
sense. It
came
makes sense.
back and was like, I found this place, he brought it out to the world. He brought it out to the open. Now Emu's like, well, I know where it is now. I'm going to wipe it off the face of the earth. And
That makes sense to me. I mean, but she used the Mother Flame, right?
yeah, we're saying that powered the weapon.
Okay.
But I will say, well, I mean, I don't. The only thing with the timeline of that theory would be if
Could she do that on the regular?
She would have needed to do it more often, unless she had like this one random Mother Flame in her back pocket.
That's my only thing.
So that'd be the only issue with that one, I think.
Maybe like what else would there be like need for?
What if the One Piece was like in
Skypiea?
Like no, well, I wouldn't say in
Like
Skypiea, but
Jaya.
no, but I'm not even thinking that. But I'm thinking, what if the One Piece was a part of it was the endless Mother Flame?
Oh, that's what I think. I think the One Piece has to do with the Mother Flame.
Like what if that really was it?
Or you need the gods to unlock it. You need all 4 little G's to unlock the One Piece, which will
Still
send
love
you,
that. We talked
send
about
you to
that.
space.
Or it could
Dude,
be that
I
you
want
need
the
the
one
Sun
to go to
God
space.
specifically. You need Nika to unlock it because it's tied directly to the Mother Flame, like the people praying, the sun
right.
being manifest.
That's right.
So the Mother Flame could be the One Piece. That's why like it was useless to Roger. And like, he found out what it is, but it's like useless to me. I'm not.
My imagination's going crazy right now. I'm just imagining going to space. All these
lore.
old relics are
Hey,
everywhere.
Anel, he knew.
Enters
He
up
knew
there
exactly
waiting.
where-
Final boss.
Final
boss
that's
is
that
in
mantra. Not that,
Yes, I'm saying he is one of the best.
he
He's
awakened
also the
it.
best One Piece villain, man.
Dude, he's
so
up
good.
there.
He's
Him and Doflamingo.
Absolutely, 100%.
Crocodile's up there for me. Love Crocodile.
Dude, that mural and the whole like, I remember I just reading it, I was like, and it's like finally we got some massive, some.
Well, Egghead dropped a lot.
It did,
It did.
but it was like you got to see. It's our first like direct. Like you saw what happened even before the Void Century and like the whole history of the Grand Line and the whole One Piece world.
Yeah.
And it's still broad. We still don't know the actual events in the Void Century. I do like the mural has like this big tree, so it kind of shows you in the second world, in the second age after the first fall of man, or whatever, in the big battle there. That's when that tree comes up, and then that tree is when the devil fruit spawn.
Yeah, it's like a regrowth.
So,
moment.
and that all happened within that Void Century.
Yeah.
So you can kind of piece that
That would be
together. I feel
interesting.
like so after the first fall, now the Mother Flame comes back. Blah blah. We got devil fruits come back, and that's
Can we talk about how before a certain period in time people could swim with devil fruit powers?
hold on.
Because it mentioned that the people killed the sun god, and the god of the sea was angered, and because of that, the people it hinted that people lost their ability to swim as a curse put on them.
Maybe it's the first time devil fruits were created. Could you say that?
Possibly, yeah. That could be but like there's.
I mean, I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
There's like a loose. Also, we get mention of two groups of people: the moon and the half moon.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Okay.
Half moon's got to be the D.
the Will of D.
It's got to be.
Let's talk. Could it be one of two things? The Will of Dreams, because we saw where it talks about the people of the moon dream, the people of the half moon dream, or the Will of Demon, because of the mention of the demon that was in confliction. It's in the mural, and we've seen who was it that directly said he said it to Law, did he not? He was like, the Will of D people are called by another thing. Those who are against.
Yeah. I'm with the dreaming one. I think they're dreamers.
The Will of Dream.
I think Luffy's whole thing is based off of a dream he has. So that one makes more sense to me.
But in the view of the celestial dragons and those people that have been ruling and enslaving everyone, they're gonna just ridicule and call them maybe demons or devils or whatever.
They don't want them to be dreaming. They want them to stay within their roles, stay low, and don't get involved with the past.
Here's another thing: if you took the shape of the moon, which is a circle, cut it in half, kind of looks like a D. So could it be indicating the people of the half moon?
Both halves.
I'm in.
That'd be cool.
Now people are saying like
Together it creates an O, a circle.
yeah,
The circle of life.
It's not confirmed, but
It all adds up.
everyone's saying that Blackbeard has to be a child of the moon or a child of the half moon, because it would explain why he never sleeps, and it would possibly give an explanation to why he might have more than one devil fruit as well.
Who are King's people? King from Kaido's crew?
Yes,
Lunarian?
Lunarians.
Yeah.
Do you think they could involve
I
with
think
half moons?
they're probably the people of the moon.
Okay.
Probably the people of the moon.
and
Also, they have a flame on their back, right? What if that's a part of Eternal Flame? What if that was placed on their body from something that happened in the past?
Yeah, it has tie. It has to have tie.
think it
The
has a tie-in?
Lunarians have to have tie-in
yeah.
with being the children of the moon. Them,
Okay.
like, we've seen the civilization up on the moon. Like we've known that people have gone up there.
Yeah.
and I think
Like Inaru.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from my recollection of reading those, it looked like they went up to the moon. They had civilization, but life is just too unsustainable there. So
Yep.
they came back down, and they became the Shindorians. That's the way I look at that, because they came down, they settled in Skypiea, or their ancestors, whatever, and I don't know. Maybe what if the ancient kingdom was in the sky?
That makes...
You think? I don't know. I'm just spitballing.
There's a reason Marie Joie is building up. There's a reason they're building up.
yeah.
They know that the water's going to rise.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, why are they... They're preparing for that, acting like the people are going to die either way. Right?
Oh, yeah.
The people down there are going to die either way. They're going.
Regardless who wins this last battle, there's got to be some people being wiped off. I mean,
With the
Lanaria,
water rising.
Lenoria? What was the
Yeah.
wow. But like we don't even know that people have already died. Boom, gone.
No, and people are having to take refuge on boats.
Already.
We already know that. So clearly they're preparing for death.
And Vega.
They're up there.
And
But they don't have food. What the crap are they doing? Why don't they have food resources?
You saw not Gandalf, wasn't it? Gonfall. He's already starting to grow pumpkins and stuff.
Yeah,
there's a way to
that's true.
there's a way to
You think
garden.
he'll
up there.
you think he'll come back and be a hero in the final?
Come on, somebody.
That'd
You know,
be-
the final
That'd be
arc.
nice.
Pulling
Yeah.
straight from Lord of the Rings, and he comes back.
yes. Gonfall the Grey. No, Gonfall the White. Yeah.
But Vega's already been preparing it. That's why he's focused so much on getting these. The Labo phase was built up, and and during his message, he was talking about how he wants to help. He needs to master the sky clouds or the sky islands, because this is the future. If
nothing works out down
or nothing,
here.
yeah, if nothing works out, there's got to be a place for us to live. So that's why his research there was so important.
Wow.
So
That's a lot.
that makes
Yeah.
sense.
I think.
That's why the Sunny is always having fruit grown, so they can constantly generate food for the crew.
Mm-hmm.
What if they have to? What if there's an arc where they have to survive based on what the resources they have?
They're growing the right food too. I mean,
I'm in on oranges.
Yeah.
the one thing that
Or
pirates were
tangerines.
notorious for like dying from was scurvy, and like oranges are directly
Yeah.
what you want to eat if you
I could live off oranges. I love oranges. They're so good.
They need vitamin C to survive. Mm-hmm. That makes total sense.
Yeah.
Not
vitamin.
I'm sure Usopp could find a way to fish. That high up.
Yeah.
Couple megalodons.
Yeah, because he's doing good.
Think of Skypiea. You got those sharks up in the sky.
Dude, One Piece sharks are no joke. They're no joke. They're huge.
How did those things get up there? Sky sharks, whatever you want to call them. Like, they could fish.
I don't know. There's different creatures in the sky, right? Are there other creatures in the sky?
I mean, we haven't really explored the sky.
Skypiea, do they have other creatures? I can't remember.
I mean, they had the wolves.
Pet, the girl's pet. It's like a fox thing.
Yeah, the white fox.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe there's not sky creatures.
And the big snake.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's not.
Well, that was from the Shandorian. That was from the.
Which makes sense to your theory of how it grew, but it came from the lower, the ground before it shot up.
That's right.
That all makes sense. If your theory pans out.
Dude, the world generation, by the way, because it talks about, like, when it mentions the sea god raging, you can look at the mural and, like, the prophecies, and you can take it, because there's that end section, they never meet again.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different ways you can take that, but one of them has to do with the world generation. Because if you look, the first part talks about the serpent that destroyed everything. And then it talks about how they can never meet again.
Well, is the serpent.
It looks like the red line is kind of tied to, like, Jormungandr, which is the mythological snake that ate eating itself, like tail to tail, head.
Oh.
And there's some connections with Loki
I can
too
see
with
that picture now. Yes,
yeah.
I can see
And
that
so
picture.
it's like a theory. What if that serpent is the red line?
Dude, hold up. When you put something in water rises, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you put a whole huge snake around the world, the water around it's going to move up.
Exactly, yeah. And so that would explain why, like, the Celestials are, like, building on it and stuff like that. It's like, it was on their team. It's like for them. It's the world serpent. So that was, like, the first part was the formation.
And that's why the water's still.
So it's saying that it's...
Think about it.
They're saying it can never meet again because it's separating the two halves. When you get to the next part, it says that the sea god was angered and they could never meet again. That could be the formation of the Grand Line with the calm belt. So the water level had risen and it's still rising. And then they can never meet again. So the other two had... So we have 4 quarters now. And so it's possible before the world looked just like ours in One Piece. And then, boom, red line split. Yes, sea level rises.
What about my theory of Emu being born on an island in the calm belt? Would that would make sense, right? If you think of it that way, with it split up.
No, I think that, like, back then the world was just like kind of like the world now, or like maybe even like Pangea, where it's just one big, and so like it's just a group of people.
I want to say I can't remember. My mind's going blank, but I want to say it was in Skypiea, maybe Noland, or maybe what was the guy, the Shandorian, the fierce warrior in Shandor. God, I can see his face and see that mane.
Yeah, I know.
But he talked about. No, it was Grogi and Broggy talking about the red line, calling it a snake.
Yeah.
Really?
There's been reference to
they have called it, and maybe because of the culture that they're supposed to, being more like Norse.
Yeah, I think I remember
and
that.
So
now.
they called it. Now I think maybe back then.
Otis probably shaking in his boots right now.
Just think about though. That was episode like 100 something.
Yeah.
100 something.
Yeah.
And we're at 1,000 something.
Yeah, well, I mean, dude, the end game had to have been like known by Skypiea. That was
that's when he,
because there's so many connections from Skypiea to what we're seeing now.
Yeah.
Especially like with that snake, that ancestor is like this is a god. It's not a snake.
Another reason Skypiea is such a good art.
Dude, so good.
Skypiea just keeps
people who say skip Skypiea, they don't
know.
They don't
the only thing you might want to skip is the Ordeal of Swamp or whatever that one. That was that was buns.
Yeah.
Here's that was so buns.
The bubble fight with the white.
I love the bubble fight.
I was not a fan of it.
I love the fights in Skypiea, except for the Ordeal of Love. I didn't like the Ordeal of Love, which is Yeah, the first guy who has like the mantra that's like making fun of Luffy on the bubbles. And
No, the Ordeal
yeah.
Spheres was
I'm
great.
I'm with you.
I love the Ordeal. I like that one. I didn't like the Swamp guy. Who's
I like the cage match was great.
Zoro. There's a fight with Zoro.
The Steel was great.
Yeah.
The Ordeal
Great fight with
Steel
Zoro.
and
Yeah.
the Ordeal Strings was all those were great.
Chopper, Chopper.
Robin had
went
some
through
cool
a rough
moments.
time. Robin did.
We had Zoro being
And the timing that
Tarzan?
Inaru was on during that, dude, showing up at places and being like,
Striking down
telling,
places.
like, he was like, to Nami is like, I'll tell you all about it. He was like on some timing, dude.
He was
that
awesome.
part.
I love that scene. He's just eating an apple chilling. He's just like,
I want to say I saw something on social media of a quote from Oda talking about how he knew what the end game was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But he says I just don't know how long it'll take me to get there.
that's insane.
I mean that just shows you.
Yeah, I think that like he got to the point where he's like, we're expanding the story, and then he's like, I know how I want it to end, and now he's at the point where it's like, well, I have all these different things. I'm just gonna keep making connections. And he's like going. It's like I can tie this in here, going. I can tie this in here, and it's just going and going and going. And he's like, we'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it. I
love it too.
Oh, it's great writing.
It's
Great.
so
It's
the
amazing.
lore is incredible. I mean,
Are there things I think he should skip on? I have my opinions.
I mean,
But overall, it's incredible.
it's still regardless, it's still incredible. And maybe when it's all streamlined. When it's finally, no,
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever want to be in. I guess I need to know the ending, but still, but
I
when it's
do wanna know the
streamlined,
ending.
dude, it's gonna be great. I'm
It's
so
gonna be
excited.
amazing. Comes out this year. Is that right? Reanimated series coming out this year.
Oh, does it?
I gotta look
I
it
remember
up.
reading
can't remember.
2025.
Yeah,
but
you're right.
Would they have
Yeah.
delayed it?
I know I've
Possibly,
already
but
heard
I
the
think it
live
was
action.
2025.
It said. I'm pretty sure it said
Oh, yeah.
2025. Also, a couple months from now we have the live action. Super excited for that.
Yes.
I mean, and
Season
Legos. Let's go.
Legos.
Let's
yes.
go.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you.
mean,
I'm over
gonna be
here
great.
just
Our
building my
wallets
little
are about to
sunny.
be gone.
Yeah. I'm picking
And
up a
Legos are
second job.
expensive.
Legos are.
Probably like what 600
Yeah,
for a
they've
going
gone-
Mary.
They've gone up so much.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
crazy.
But dude, this has been insane.
It's been a great
It's
podcast.
been phenomenal.
One last fun question for you guys before
All
we
right.
close. If you could join any One Piece crew, whose would it be?
Any One Piece crew. Do I want to say
This is a fun
serious
question.
or do I want to be funny?
I have some answers.
You
but
personally,
we'll
I
see.
mean, I don't want to join Blackbeard's crew. I'd probably die on
Yeah,
that crew.
no, nothing. Well, I mean, the only thing you can say about that is that like he'd probably give you a really good devil fruit.
That's true. That's a good
But
point.
it's like, am I like joining the like? Is he happy that I'm joining this crew, or is it something that like is forced on him? Because
Yeah.
I don't want to join Blackbeard's crew if he's like this guy can't
No.
do anything,
I
and like
Yep.
I'm out on Blackbeard.
he'd probably just kill me.
I'd just be like, go die. It's like, I don't want to fight this guy
Yeah.
to do it. And I'm like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I,
got any thoughts?
I know for me, I think I've been rewatching Marineford. Robin's been watching it, so I've just been loving it. And just that scene of Whitebeard after being stabbed, just the family and the camaraderie
Yeah.
there. I just feel like
Yeah,
I
I
would
respect
fit.
that.
I would fit so well in
I respect that.
in Whitebeard's crew, and it's just so much fun. Like, and there was even that they even did like a flashback of like Whitebeard. I don't even think he was a captain at the moment, but he was like just sitting there while all these other people were just talking about the treasure.
Yeah.
And he didn't even care about the treasure. He didn't care. So like he's all about his family and his crew. I just
Yeah.
love that. So I
love
think
that
my
too.
favorite one would be Whitebeard. Even with Marco leading it, he embodies the vision and the heart of Whitebeard from the beginning.
Yeah.
I agree. That's a good one.
I think that would be my answer.
Yeah. I thought about it, and I thought about some. I was like, maybe Shanks' crew, because like
I thought about that one too.
they're almost like a retirement crew where like they've got the answers and they're
Yeah.
just like kind of going around and doing stuff now and
And-
putting things into motion. But my thing is like, I'm Usopp in this story. Like that's who we are. I was
Yeah.
like, Shanks' crew, he knows they'll pull their weight. I can't pull my weight in that condition,
Yeah.
especially with Shamrock coming up now. So my thought is like, I had a few. I was like, the Foxy Pirates. Because I'd hardly
thought of
have
that.
to do anything except like play Davy back fights.
Yeah,
and even then,
yeah.
like my boss is gonna cheat so that we'll win.
Let's go.
Another one was like Rumbar Pirates, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Music, I could learn
Yeah.
so much from those guys, and they were very close knit too.
Yes.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah. And then There was the group that was just diving for gold at Jaya.
Yes.
That's not bad. But I think the easiest one is the fake straw hats.
I'm already on that group.
There we go. Brook, right here.
Dude,
I love that.
Dude, the fake straw hats when Chopper actually believed
that
was so funny.
Don't they come back around Maurice Wano? They get reanimated, I think. I think there's a scene with them.
Oh, man.
That's absolutely amazing.
That's so funny.
I can say...
I can't remember, but that's
for
hilarious.
me, definitely Roger's crew. I think they're so unique. Every single one. Yes, they're stronger than me. But I trust them to be able to protect me. And I feel like
you had Buggy on there.
I was gonna say they had Shanks and Buggy, and they were kids.
Yeah,
like,
so there's a way. Yeah. There's a way it would work.
Yeah. I also think that they just are so unique individually.
Poor Buggy.
I think you would learn so much from those people.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Also Shanks' crew. I know I'm Shanks,
Yeah.
but I mean, dude, they're so awesome.
They are.
They're so cool.
That's not bad
Absolutely.
choice.
Yeah, they're fun.
They
seem fun.
Hey, hope you don't run into his brother, or hope that he's not like, all right, guys, let's do this. Because like
it's time to go to the One Piece.
It's over. Like,
I'm jumping off the boat.
Yeah.
The one thing I do wonder is because Shamrock is like, you clearly know he's only going to be assigned like the top tier missions, and because of that, like, what has he done in the world that we don't know?
Yeah,
like,
so much.
There's
Too much.
It makes you wonder, like, or even if he's done a ton, but there's been no loose ends, and he's just tied it all up, and he does his job to perfection.
Yeah,
like that'd be so cool. And
really
really, he was one under the dad, St. Fingerland.
Yeah.
So like, what is he like? It makes me wonder what have the Holy Knights done that we don't know about. That's just so cool.
That's really cool. We have so much to talk about still.
There's still.
I think we need to wrap this up.
Yeah.
But I have another question for the future podcast in my head. So remind me after this.
I got it. Okay. Hey, before we go, Adidas, here's your shout out.
Oh, yeah.
Let's
Adidas.
go.
Let's go.
All right.
Hey, it was so much fun, guys. Glad to have Brook.
It was great to be here, everyone.
Yeah, we're so glad to have you. It was awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Dude, this is awesome. Definitely coming back.
It was a great
He's coming back, whether you like it or not. I know you'll love it.
I know you will.
Frankie,
Super!
great seeing you. Can't wait for the next episode. We'll see y'all around.